Do you remember the BMW 1 Series? Well, if you're in Europe, it actually never went away. However, in North America, it was only sold from 2007 to 2013 as the E82 and the E88, which was a convertible. Hi, my name is Eric, and I like to cover news, especially sports cars. So if you're into that, I've got a Discord chat, which is free. You can also follow me on Instagram if you want to chat with me directly. And I've got a Patreon if you want to help support the channel. All these links are down below. We're going to look at the 2020 BMW 1 Series, and we're going to look at the good and the bad. First, the good news. If you like hot hatches, you are absolutely in luck. This BMW reminds me of the Ford Focus ST, but it's a little bit more angular. So while the Focus has some pretty nice sort of rounder corners, the BMW is actually, I think it's a little bit more aggressive. I really like the styling of the new 2020 BMW 1 Series. Looking at the grille of this thing, the grills are getting bigger. However, in the 1 Series, they're not like as insane as they are in the BMW X7, for example, or even the new 3 Series. I think that's a little overboard. This looks a little bit more restrained. I'm definitely liking the headlights on this thing. They're sort of angular, and the bottom of the grille has this sort of BMW design language, the sort of sculpted, angular look. Things on the side are sort of aggressive, and they sort of pulled that a little bit from the M cars. This blue is called Misano Blue Metallic. I really dig it. I'm kind of a fan of blue cars personally. I've owned a couple of them. I've got one right now. It's an Audi. I sort of like the dark blues. I just really dig this. Let me know down below if you like blue cars too. I think the proportions look really great. It is, of course, a 5-door. And check out these Alcantara seats with the blue insert in the middle. Again, we're going back to this blue theme, but these seats look really nice. These are seats that I wish more cars had. I mean, well, at least more cars that I drive, because they look incredibly comfortable. They probably are, and they just look really sharp, and they're sort of a step away from that normal just leather that we tend to get in almost everything. I think the interior is also a pretty big step forward here. What I like about it is that finally BMW has ditched this ridiculous iPad trend that so many manufacturers seem to have been using lately. BMW has been using it, Mercedes has still got it. There's a lot of manufacturers that still have it. Personally, I don't like this iPad on a dashboard thing. I just don't think it looks good. Everybody knows what an iPad is. I don't really want to see it in my dash, so I like the integration that they've got going on here. They've also got this new digital gauge cluster that BMW has been using lately. I think the steering wheel is simple. I think the center console looks nice. I think overall, this is like a pretty nice, clean interior that's not really overdone. So there's a lot of good there, but now we got to talk about the bad for a second. So what do I not like about this car? Well, let me tell you first, let's talk about what is the classic BMW formula. It is, of course, rear-wheel drive. It's a manual transmission, although not as much lately, and of course, an inline 6-cylinder engine. So that is the classic formula. It's always been a fun formula. However, in this new 1 Series, we're kind of getting axed. So we got 2 engine choices if you like petrol or gasoline if you're in North America. We've got a 1.5 liter 3-cylinder turbo making 138 horsepower. This is in the 118i, and the car only weighs a little over 3,000 pounds wet, which means with all the fluids and stuff inside it. It's a little bit lighter dry weight. You've probably seen that reported somewhere. And the good news is it's got a 6-speed manual. I dig that. Then it's got the M Sport package, the M135i xDrive. It's a 2-liter, makes 306 horsepower, 332 foot-pounds of torque. It weighs a little over 3,500 pounds, but no manual, and it's a 2-liter. Oh, BMW, why have you forsaken us? No 6-speed manual transmission, no inline 6. It's all... we got to blame somebody, right? So who are we going to blame? I think we got to blame the regulators in all the countries that we all happen to live in. We're dealing with a time of increased emission standards, increased CO2 standards, increased safety standards, all that kind of stuff. Electrification, hybridization, all these things are basically starting to impinge upon the more classic, more, dare I say, pure driving experience that we've come to know and love from BMW and other manufacturers too. I think that's just sort of the way things have been going and are going to continue to go. Now, you've probably noticed that the set isn't so quite brightly lit like it normally is, and this is my new set, by the way. The other one is actually right over there, and I'm still going to use it. However, I'm shooting at night, and normally I'm by a window, and normally there's some sunlight coming in here. So, hey, let me know if you like the new, more dramatic set. If you guys like it, I'm going to continue to shoot here, but the other set isn't gone either. Oh, and if you're wondering where the lava lamps went, it's right here, it's right in front of me. I just don't have a place for it back over there. So what is this vehicle competing with? Well, we've obviously got the Golf series, which are all hot hatches, really. We've got the Audi A3, and we've got, of course, the Mercedes, the A-Class. So this is based on the Mini platform, as you might already know. It's called the UKL platform, the UKL 1 and 2, and this is, I think, the FAR, F-A-A-R platform. The nomenclature is a little bit odd to me, so you've probably seen this platform before, at least in North America. It's in the BMW X1 and the BMW X2. So there's one more piece of bad news, and that is none of this is coming to North America. Probably not a huge surprise to you. If you like sports cars, you probably know that cars are just not selling as well as they used to. Hatchbacks, hot hatches have never really sold that well, at least not so much in the last like 10 or 15 years. I had a hot hatch that I really loved, which was a Subaru WRX. It was a 2002. It was the Bug Eye. It was in red. It's up on screen now, not this exact one, but the same colors, the same wheels and everything. Love that car, and here's what I really love about hatches that have sort of been, SUVs have sort of taken the place of them, and that is the practicality and the balance. When you've got a heavy engine up front and you got a little more of the car in the back, you got a little bit more of a 50-50 weight distribution. It's a little easier to achieve that. You got a more balanced vehicle. And of course, you got a ton of practicality that you don't get with a trunk. I don't know why North Americans aren't into the hatches. Has never really been a thing like it's been in Europe. It's kind of a thing for me. At least I like them, but they're pretty hard to get. I definitely want to thank my Patreons who are up on screen right now. If you like sports cars, you like the sort of news of future cars, just choose a video. There's one up on screen right now. My name is Eric. I'll see you in the next video.